Good morning, everybody. Welcome at this info day on the new IT tool for the submissions of the EIC Accelerator Step 1 proposals. My name is Robert Schreuder. I'm the head of the external communications team at EISMEA, also responsible for the communications on the European Innovation Council. And so today we'll have a number of speakers who will go through the new platform with you to give you more information. Just so you are aware, this information session that we've organized for you we have directly invited all the NCPs as well as the EEN and EIC coaches, but we've also made it open for other participants who are interested to join. Could I perhaps ask everybody to mute their microphones because I hear some background noises. For the agenda, after a short welcome, which we'll have from Angelo Billo, who's the Deputy Head of Unit for the EIC unit at DG Research and Innovation. To provide some context, we'll have a short introduction as well from Stefan Waki, who is the Head of the Department responsible for the EIC in EISMEA. And then we will have Jeremy Delattre, who will go through the IT tool and provide you with all the information. And then, of course, we will open up for questions and answer those questions. Perhaps to go to the next slide. Before we start, also a few housekeeping rules. So please keep your cameras off and microphones muted. And for you, again, to be aware that this session is being recorded. After the session, we will publish it on the EIC website. What we will do for the Q&A sessions is to use a Slido link. In the next slide, you will get the QR code. Here it is. So for all your questions, you will not be able to use the comment box here in the WebEx meeting, but all questions should go through Slido. We will try to do them as much as possible, and then go through Again, can I please ask colleagues who are joining to mute their microphones in order to not disturb the presentations? Good. With that, we move on to the first speaker, which is Angelo Billo, the Deputy Head of Unit for the EIC unit at DG Research and Innovation. Angelo, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, Robert. Colleagues. There are still some microphones which are not muted, so maybe if you can all check. Again, good morning and thanks for joining. This is a very important meeting now to further smoothen the application process, in which we had some bumps recently, as you know. But from the Commission side, I want to signal to you that we're extremely grateful for all the hard work which colleagues Stefan and all his colleagues in EISMEA have done over the last weeks and months in order to minimize the impacts on applicants. And now today you will hear about the proposal application process a bit more in detail of what it looks like right now. As you know, after the AI platform was taken off, the step 1 proposals now can still be made in a different tool than the single platform, the funding and tender platform, but as of step 2, that is already integrated into the overall process of the Commission in the single platform. And within the next year, we will want to work a little bit further to see whether there is a way to make that platform fit for all types of EIC proposals. But our main objective is really whatever we do to minimize the impacts and potential negative impacts on the applicants. So with that, without further ado, I would hand over to Stefan, who will give you more further introduction into what the process now looks like. And I would just say that the EIC as such is important for the European Commission, and we're very happy that you might have noticed that the EIC has now also been mentioned in the strategic technologies platform proposal of the Commission, which is a real signal for us that the political level appreciates that what we are doing here, and that the success of the applicants which come through you this is very important to the Commission political level as well. So thank you, and good success, Stefan.
Thank you, Angelo. I hope you can hear me well for this word of introductions.
Yes,
yes, indeed. So here we are again, trying to take your comments, questions, and provide the necessary feedback in order to make this new tool more efficient. I will not make a very long introduction, just to put things into context. As you know, we had, unfortunately, due to reason completely unforeseen at the time and completely independent of our will, we had to discontinue the use of the AI platform in June, at the beginning of June. As a consequence, we had to put a number of measures into place. The first one has been, of course, to postpone the deadline for the second step 2 cutoff date of the year, which was postponed to the 21st of June. Since we had to rely on the corporate tool SEP in order to deliver the tool for applicants to lodge their applications with us. This process has allowed most applicants to actually successfully lodge their application, and we have been able to get those applications and process them for evaluation already. The jury week for the application is scheduled next month. So things have been working very well on the step 2 change. Even in here and there, we can of course pick up a number of individual complaints, especially from those that have been had already finished their applications there. But overall, there has been a broad level of satisfaction with the change that has been done and the measures that were taken in order to accompany this change. But as you know, on the 2nd of June, when we discontinued the AI platform, that was not the end of the story. We had also a step 1 platform handled by the AI platform that we also had to discontinue on the same day. And for that one, we were not in a position to immediately offer an alternative tool, and we needed to develop it. And therefore, we had to put in place a moratorium on new applications that would come under step 1, which of course is a problem, since the whole logic of the EIC Accelerator call is to be a continuous call. So what we have done is we have worked with the team, with the IT team, without any let up, in order to bring this new tool to life, which we did when we announced that the tool was online on the 3rd of July. And of course, we did that on a continuous basis, bringing new improvement as we went along in the days and weeks afterwards, in order to make the tool perfectly functional. We thought that since this happened over the summer, and there were, of course, inevitably a number of people that were not going to be in, it did not make a lot of sense to have a training session during the months of July and August, and that's why we wanted to have, as soon as we resume our normal activities out of the holidays, which is basically early September, to give you the opportunity to give us your comments, your feedback, answer the questions, and have this opportunity for us to share and to see what can be done in order to improve even further the tool that we have now in place. And this is why we have this session today. So I'm not going to make a much longer introduction than that. Let's now get immediately into the presentation and into then the question and answer. And I wish you all a good session today that is there in order to really improve the process and make sure that we have a common understanding on how things will proceed from now on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Also, thank you, Angelo. Sorry, beforehand. And indeed, let's now move to the meat of the discussion. And my apologies. It is Neil Griffin who is presenting this part. So Neil, please, the floor is yours to go through the submission platform.
Thank you very much, Robert. So yeah, just a late change to the planned advertised presenter, but I'm very happy to be here and to see so many people on the call. It's quite encouraging to see the level of interest. So just to say, you know, with obviously in the kind of the entrepreneurial spirit and then the spirit of innovation, we have to adapt to changes and circumstances as they happen. So This is kind of a product of that. I just want to say really a huge thanks to the IT team behind this. It's been a hell of a lot of work that has gone behind the scenes since June. So it's a tribute to them that they've been able to push this out in the last few months. So just to say thank you very much to them first. In terms of the platform itself, I'd just like to show a short video, about 4 to 5 minutes, just to give you a kind of a quick overview of the new platform. This video will be published on the platform as well. So if you want to reference it at a later stage, it'll appear there. So if Maria Laura, if you're able just to bring up the presentation, the video, I should say.
Welcome aboard to My EIC, the platform to apply for the EIC Accelerator. When you first connect to My EIC, and if you're proceeding as an applicant for the EIC Accelerator program, you'll need to provide your participant identification code for your organization. If your organization isn't registered yet, don't worry. You can easily apply for a PIC using the Participant Register section in the Funding and Tenders portal. If you're the first person from your organization to register, be sure to have the legal right to administrate the organization. You'll become the administrator of the organization, giving you the authority to manage membership. You can add new members if they already have an EU login account, and you will have to oversee the membership for your organization. To create a new proposal, simply click on the Create a New Proposal button in the My Proposals section. But before you begin, be sure to check the eligibility rules in the EIC Accelerator work program. When the draft is open, you can complete the different sections of your short proposal. Red indicators remind you when mandatory information is still missing in the different sections. Your work is automatically saved when a modification is made. You can quit the proposal or shut down your browser and continue the work later. To submit your short proposal, you will need to upload 2 essential documents. First, your pitch deck should be uploaded as a PDF, and please ensure it does not exceed 10 pages. Additionally, you'll need to provide a pitch video, which should not exceed 3 minutes in duration. After uploading, the video will be converted, and you will be able to open it for streaming directly on the platform. Data sharing consent is an optional but valuable feature. By opting in, you allow the EIC to share your information with the relevant national contact point, relevant EN member, and EIT KICs. This can simplify processes and collaborations between these entities, making it a useful choice for those looking to streamline their interactions. Don't forget to check the box before submitting your short proposal. After submission, your short proposal will be reviewed by experts, and you will receive the feedback afterward. You can also download your proposal as a PDF for your records. If you happen to make a mistake or need to make changes, it's possible to withdraw a proposal. Even after withdrawal, the proposal remains accessible on the platform for consultation, and you can start over from a withdrawn proposal if necessary. After evaluation, the CEO will receive a notification informing them of the result. You can also open the proposal to see the evaluation result and download the evaluation. If your proposal receives a first no-go, you can create a new short proposal or start over from the rejected one. If your proposal receives a second no-go, you can introduce a complaint directly in the system. However, if you receive a go, you are invited to create your full proposal in the submission and evaluation platform. You'll also receive 3 days of coaching to help you improve your business. Start looking for a coach using the coaching part of My EIC. Multiple users can collaborate on the same short proposal. Any user who can access the proposal can manage the contributors' access by granting or revoking them. However, please note that an organization can only start one proposal at a time. If the Create a New Proposal button is grayed out and you cannot see any proposals, check if one of your colleagues has started one. You can click on Search Proposals to display a search box with the proposals of your organization. From there, you can request access directly to ongoing, submitted and old proposals. You also have the possibility to register another organization if you need to work on different proposals for different organizations. Once you are a member of multiple organizations, you can easily switch from one to another by clicking on their name. This flexibility allows you to manage multiple projects seamlessly. Thank you for joining us on this journey through My EIC. If you have any questions or need assistance, our support team is just a click away.
Okay, thank you very much, Mariela. So, just for the purposes of this session, it's best to kind of have a hands-on approach and go through the actual demonstration of the application platform itself. So I'm going to share my screen and just show the different facets to the platform. For those of you who've already used it, you will see obviously a difference between what was there before. We are maybe less prescriptive in the type of questions we're asking. And this gives the opportunity for applicants to really tell their own story and to put it in their own words in a kind of a less prescriptive fashion. So let's get going. I'll just share my screen now and hopefully you can all see. Okay. Just to be sure you can see my screen, it's okay?
Yes, we can see it. Thanks.
Okay, super. So this is the main dashboard, let's say homepage of the application. This is a dummy proposal from myself. So you can see at the moment on the left-hand side, you have a kind of a short menu with an overview, which should act as your home button, let's say. And then you also have, so you have the legal notice, and then we also have the help desk. So this will be improved in the next week or so with the video and plus some more enhanced frequently asked questions, but you'll also have access to you'll have the email address of the support. So it's just an important one just in case you encounter any issues. So that's where to look on that side. So in terms of the layout and look, you'll see here, up here, this is where your pick will be. So when you are you have registered your organization, this is where you'll see the pick number. If you are working on several different proposals, you can also, working for several different companies, also a number of proposals, you can register an organization. So you can enter the pick number here. Just a word of advice, just by entering in the numbers, you won't necessarily see the pick number. You need to press enter on your keyboard. So just to bear that in mind, sometimes it's not, it's one of the things we've actually received back from applicants. So we'll try to make it a bit maybe clearer, but if anyone comes across that issue, just press the enter button and then that will bring up your participant, the pick number of the company, and then it'll allow you to register to the company, actually the organization. So I have set myself up here. I've labeled myself as the CEO. I will be the admin. And you can see here, this is how to edit each member. And you can change your own membership. You can change it to any type of position here. And the details, phone numbers, and most importantly, the admin rights. So me as the owner of this proposal, I've set myself as the admin. There needs to be at least one admin per proposal. And then you can add as many team members as you like. You have, and you can also add them as admin as well, or a user. And this is what I've done here. So you'll see my colleague, Michael, is listed here as a user. So I have added him and he's been able to accept the request. And then I can change his user rights as I please. Obviously, if you're the admin, you can control more the membership and the level of user rights. Whereas if you're just a user, you can only contribute to the proposal itself. And as a admin, I can remove or update their profile. So it's interesting to see. So you can see here, if I want to remove someone, I have to confirm, and then that's done. And then hopefully takes a little bit of time, and then they're removed from the proposal. And then if I want to add them back in, I put in their email address or the EU login. It's important that they have an EU login. And then you can do the whole process again of initiating their user rights and their details. So That's clear. Maybe just to show what does happen. So this is how it will look. And again, you have to press the enter. And once it's created, obviously I made a mistake with Michael's name, but once it's created, I will then be able to send the email address. I'll actually ask into my colleagues here. Just to be sure that everyone knows how it works. Good. Okay. Okay, so there we go. And I nominate him, and then you'll see. You'll see him here. So normally, yeah, if they're already in the program, then they'll receive a notification, and then they'll be added to the proposal directly. So the actual proposal itself, if we are starting from scratch, we will have the option to create a new proposal. And if you have already submitted on the old platform, you'll have a legacy proposal. So that will be also located here. It's only for reference purposes. It cannot be edited. It's just there to help you input your new data for the short proposal. So this here is a new draft that I've created. It's just a kind of a tester. And you can see all the different fields as was shown in the video that you need to fill in. So you can see it. The kind of the normal data is here that you would expect from previous applications or normal applications, and then also you have then here at the bottom the opportunity to put in your keywords. Just important for the distinction between this platform and the previous one is that the keywords can actually be changed between the short and the full proposal. That was an issue that was brought up before, and that's something kind of rectified. So at this moment, you can put in these keywords, but then if you are successful and you go to the full proposal, you can then change these keywords if you feel that they're actually more suitable or have changed, or you have a different approach. So that's just important to highlight that, and that these are not fixed for the lifetime of the proposal. And then we get into the kind of the core of the matter. So as I was saying earlier, the questions that you see here are in a kind of a less prescriptive manner than they have been previously. This is based kind of on feedback to kind of simplify the process, and in theory, this allows applicants to better explain themselves, tell their own story. So it puts the onus back on the applicant to really explain what they're doing. You'll notice throughout the characters here, in total we have about 70,000 just for the application, so the core questions. So we don't expect you to use all this, and then in the guide for applicants, we do highlight that although you do have approximately 70,000 characters, this is quite generous, and in the spirit of a short proposal, we would not expect you to use all this. And we expect in future to reduce this after most likely once the new work program is adopted. So you'll may see a change there based on the experience we see and the amount of characters that people are in reality using. So do not feel obliged whatsoever to use every single character there. We still expect this to be in the spirit of the short proposal. So these questions, they cover pretty much the same kind of idea of the previous platform. And of course, they're in line with the evaluation criteria. So you can see that when you get into here, we're looking to see what's the breakthrough, what's kind of innovative about this, about your solution. Is the timing right? Is there scale-up potential? Is there a necessary or a well thought through competitive analysis? And the kind of the impact, the broader impact, and also the current team in place and the future hiring plans. So when we go through the different questions here, you'll see that it more or less mirrors what's there, but obviously the format-wise, it's a different structure, and it's up to the applicant to really push and sell themselves within the constraints of the question. So I think I saw already in the Slido questions about graphs and pictures, and within these sections, it cannot be done. So it's purely text-based. But as you'll see later, we do have the pitch deck and video. So I'll come to that in a little bit. You'll see each section does have different character lengths. So it's just important just to be aware of that if you do go and if you want to write quite a bit on a certain area, there is a limitation. And it's not exactly the same for each question. So just to be aware of that. We'll also have some metadata, obviously, that we need to keep here. So some will be pre-filled based on your PIC number. And then you're free to add in some further insights on your company background as well. So that's I think that's kind of a nice little kind of novelty that we have here. For the question on the team, so as I was saying previously, there's in total there's about 70,000 characters for the core questions. However, for the actual team members, you are able to add as many team members as you will need in the project, and this can be done here. So you can see this add a team member, and you can add in all their details. They don't need to have an EU login or any confirmed address that matches with either the funded intenders portal or an EU system. And you can also add in their, so in terms of the position, it's limited to this, but in terms of their domains of expertise, it's a free keyword. So you can say semiconductors. And the key thing, again, press the enter button in order to make sure that the text goes in. And you can populate that as you wish. And then you have 150 characters just to say how relevant this person is to working on the project and the innovation. So these characters fall outside of the character limit there. So, and that's for you to delve into. Of course, once you have created them, you can always edit them. And as you please. So all that is there. And then, of course, there's the actual team question itself, which falls within the 70,000 character limit. And again, although the questions are long, they more or less fit into what we have used before in the previous platform. Obviously, just the formatting is a bit different in this side, and you have more freedom to express yourself. In the funding, you'll see here that there is, obviously you can include your request based on the total cost. The system will do a calculation, so you'll see that here the grant amount requested once you add that to the grant amount from other funding sources, they add up to the total cost of up to the TRL 8 activities. So just in case you're wondering why can't I edit this bit, that's why the maths are set into the actual platform itself. So, and here, of course, it's important, the same as it was previously, between the short and full proposal, you're of course allowed to change the amount you wish to request. And it can be based either on the funding type or the actual amounts themselves. So please don't feel obliged to write exactly the same or make the same request in the short proposal as for the full proposal. And then lastly, you have the question on the financial needs and the reason you need the EIC involvement for this investment. Okay, so then, as I was saying earlier, we have the document session. So this is where you have the opportunity to illustrate your innovation. You have both the pitch deck and the pitch video. The pitch deck, we say, the maximum allowance is 10 slides. If it goes any more than 10 slides, the expert is not obliged to assess the extra slides. Similarly, the pitch video should only be 3 minutes. anymore. Again, the expert is not obliged to watch and to assess. So please make sure you're clear and concise in this area and stick to the actual platform allowance. So you can see here we advise, it's mandatory that it has to be, the pitch deck has to be in PDF form. And also bear in mind that this is only for the short proposal. When you get to the full proposal, you'll have to upload a new pitch deck, which can be more than 10 pages. But always bear in mind that the pitch deck you're creating, it should be in the context of a real life situation. So just imagine that you're presenting it to a room in a short period of time. So that's the idea. 10-minute pitch, just to kind of make the link with the actual interview if you get to that stage. The pitch video, it has to be in MP4 format. It must also be 3 minutes, as I say. And I believe, maybe unless one of my colleagues can just jump in on this, I believe the maximum is 1 gigabyte. But in reality, more than 1 gigabyte, it's probably either a very high quality video or it's a very long video. So just bear in mind that both the length and maybe the quality of the video need to be checked before you upload. There are limitations to what our server can take. And then finally, you have the declarations. So this is the standard declarations, also based on the ethics. So this is quite similar to what you would have seen previously. And at the end, you'll see this warning in case you've forgotten to insert some other documents or some text. So for example, if we say, actually probably better just actually to remove the documents. Okay, I can't replace, they're already there. But if I remove some field, then this will also create a red mark. And you see, we'll get this little reminder here. So that will kind of be the hint to you that something is missing and you need to fill it in before you submit your proposal. So the system is there to help you in that sense. In terms of the data sharing consent, so this is purely at your discretion, and as was mentioned in the video, we do advise that you consent to share the data with your NCP, EEN number, and the KICS. It can be helpful for you in the long run in terms of looking at different avenues, maybe not necessarily even with the EIC Accelerator. So it's just important. We believe it's important, but it's completely up to yourself. You will also have the opportunity at the full proposal stage to give consent. So even if you don't do it at the short proposal, there is that opportunity later on. So that kind of brings us to the end of the actual document here. Once you send in your application, so obviously it's a binary system. We have go, no go. We also have the opportunity for a short proposal to be submitted twice. So if you have received a no-go, you're then able to submit a resubmission with updates. And in this, so if you receive your results, if you receive the go, this is what you should expect to see. So it's kind of a short notification to congratulate you and also to give you links to the full proposal platform. So depending on the topic that you wish to apply to. So it's just important that if you are go, the links that are on the funding and tenders portal are specifically for the short proposal. So you'll always be redirected to this area. And for the full proposal, they are unique and are specific to only to the people who have received the go. So it's important that you use these whenever you're putting together your application. And we also have some documents which may help you along the way, the FAQs, the work program, and the guide for applicants. So it's there just to keep you going. Then we also indicate to you that your 3 days of coaching is also active, so you can make the request. You can do that within the platform itself, and that will allow you to then organize 3 days of coaching with a suitable coach whenever you're ready to do so. So that's how it looks in the context of a Go. Just gonna... Sorry, 1 second. Apologies, I'm just trying to get the apologies, 1 second. I'm just trying to get the first Go. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if you have received a first time no-go, this is the notification you see. And as was mentioned in the video, you have, obviously you can see the submission that you've made and also the evaluation. It's also actually the case for the goals, you can see the evaluation. And then you have the option either to start over using this proposal, which essentially means that when you do this, you'll create the proposal using the data that's already there. So it'll be essentially pre-filled, or you can go back and start from scratch from a completely blank proposal. So that's up to you. And then you'll have the opportunity also then to provide a resubmission text. So that will be in addition. So on the menu you'll have here, you'll also have a resubmission option for any updates or a rebuttal that you might have for the evaluators. So that's just to explain the first time no-go. If you have a second no-go, however, you then have this option to file a complaint. It's just worth, I'm just going to read this out because it's important to indicate what a complaint should relate to. Should be a factual mistake of one or more experts. Please bear in mind that fact is not an opinion. A manifest error of appreciation as to the purpose and scope of the accelerator. And then finally, if the expert asks for really detailed information that was not necessary at the step 1 stage, which would be more relevant to the step 2. So it's really just important just to get that out there. And these are the reasons. If you have a disagreement on an opinion of the expert, it's not necessarily the place or the reason for a complaint. So it's at your discretion, but just to make you aware. And then once you file the complaint, you have the option here to put together your argument. So it's an open free text box, 10,000 characters, and then once you've submitted, as we say here, we will let you know within 5 working days if the claim is rejected or not. So that kind of gives you a synopsis of what goes on here. There is option, I don't seem to see it here, but you can also, as was explained in the video, if you have certain users in your proposal, you can revoke their access to the proposal here. You as an admin can do that. So if you have multiple users here, you could also revoke. So that's just on this little menu here. But I think it's probably more interesting to get into the questions and answers at this stage. Hopefully I've covered quite a bit, but I think there's probably more interesting words coming out of the people in the audience than from what I'm saying at the moment. So if we can maybe move on then to the questions, and I'll be happy to.
Can I please ask a question?
Sorry, can I?
We have
sorry,
a
can I
slide
just,
set up, so we would.
before watching, because we try to get the questions all through the Slido. So please enter your question in the Slido. We're going through all of them, so there will be time there. It's just a way for us to categorize them, also avoid double questions because people can like the questions that are there. Maybe Maria Laura, you can put up the Slido code again for those who haven't seen it yet. And then, as I said, we will only take questions through the Slido. If at the end your question has not yet been answered, then raise your hand here, and then we will look at this. But we have a good hour and 15 minutes still ahead of us, so I think we'll make it through there. We'll start showing also the Slido questions here. Neil, I would ask you to start taking the questions. Perhaps please read out the question so everybody knows which question you are taking and answer. And of course, if other colleagues want to come in on answering the questions, that is fine. Or Neil, if you need any support, you ask the colleagues to provide additional responses. So Neil, please go ahead, and I suggest we take the first one here. And as I said to everybody, please put your questions in here, not to read to go here in the meeting, but everything through Slido. And Neil, please read them out so people know which question is being taken.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So can you make the full proposal part B templates 3 files accessible to everyone, so that step 1 applicants can start drafting while waiting for the results? So actually, this was already available on our website. If you go to the frequently asked questions, actually currently on this the help desk here, you can see within this the list of questions of the FAQs that they're all there. So you have the main part B actually, and you have the part A as well. And then you also have the financial annexes there. So hopefully that, yeah, if you will try to make it maybe more visible. Obviously, if that's the feeling that's the top question, maybe it's not visible enough. I would maybe with a caveat just say that, you know, if you are successful, you know, it's good to take into account the evaluator's comments. So if you're already preparing an application without the comments, excuse me, sorry. If you're already preparing an application with the comments and also maybe without coaching, maybe you'll end up doing double the work. But I can understand if maybe it's tight for time and you want to get things rolling, but maybe just to keep that in mind if you are taking that approach. Okay. Is there an open version for NCP or EEN consultants which we can use to prepare our clients for submission? So we don't have a test environment for NCPs or EENs, but you are free to create an account. So you can create your own pick and go through the application as you wish. Obviously, we would advise not to send in an actual submission because it would be, assuming that it's just a test submission, it would be inadmissible. So yeah, it is open there, but no, it's true, we don't have a test environment for NCPs or EN. Could stage 1 applications include graphs and visualizations? So as I was saying, in the main body, kind of the core text of the question, no, this is not available as it was under the previous platform. But this is kind of the motivation behind the pitch deck and the video. So we believe there's enough material and media there for applicants to illustrate their innovation within the context of a pitch deck or a video. As plugin projects and fast track projects do not have to fill in this platform, how do they access the coaching as it seems to be embedded here? So maybe if one of the colleagues, just in terms of the visual, I believe that you will have access via a link, so a direct link rather than in the module. So it's exactly the same link that's in the module. But maybe if one of the colleagues can just confirm if it will also be available in the step 1 platform.
Yes, Neil, maybe I can jump in here. Indeed, we have actually a link already. If you receive a go, it's not at the level of the proposal itself, but if you remember the organization dashboard, you will find below there's a section with coaching, and there you will have the direct link to the coaching. So the link is already there. But indeed, we could maybe add actually an additional link in the proposal itself where we mentioned the 3 days of coaching. It's maybe a small added improvement to solidify it.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Okay, are there tentative dates for the 2024 cutoffs? We are about to submit to step 1 and would like to know when the first deadline will be. No, so we don't have any confirmed dates, and I can't give any tentative dates either in the interest of, well, it hasn't been adopted, so it's, I can't really give any information unless Stefan or one of the colleagues wants to, at a maybe more policy level, wishes to discuss, but no, we can't give the tentative dates. How long does the step one evaluation last from the change of platform it seems to take? So yeah, so you can imagine that with the kind of the break that we had between the old and the new proposal platform, there is a backlog of proposals. So we're working our way back through that. So we are still aiming for 4 weeks. Obviously, those who submitted in July probably experienced a little bit of delay, but we are working our way back through the backlog, and it should be within the approximate 4 weeks. If someone can just turn off their microphone there in the background. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, 4 weeks, and we're still trying to aim for that principle. Okay. How should references to research and academic articles be included, as in text references, as footnotes, or other? So, I mean, the way the platform is set up, we don't have, it's not like Word or kind of a Microsoft setup. So there's no kind of insertion of footnotes. You can always give links. You can give hyperlinks within your either the core body of the text or within the pitch deck. So it's up to you how you want to do that, but we don't discriminate on that. If you put in a hyperlink for a certain thing, that's why we kind of have, there is this kind of extra character limit for these type of issues, and this is what we had in the previous platform. We're trying to fit everything in 1,000 characters and make a reference. You might lose out on certain content, so there should be ample space for you to add in any hyperlinks that you need. Will there be changes to the short application in 2024? So normally, if we are making changes to the application, please always be aware that the work program can change the text of the questions. So the evaluation criteria may change. So that can happen in any year. But yeah, at the moment, I have no further view beyond the next couple of months on this. So I can't. It's similar to the kind of the question on the 2024 work program. We have to wait until that's adopted. Will the template of step one be included in the funding attendance portal as for other instruments? So I mean, the template as it is kind of listed in the guide for applicants. We don't plan to include it in the funding attendance portal. It's quite a basic outline. So we don't see necessarily the need for it based on what we have in the guide for applicants. If there's demand for more, we can look into it. But I think the core questions are there, and I think even just going into the platform is as good as using any template. So it's not like the full proposal where it's a bit more complex. I think the step one is quite straightforward in that sense. Is it possible to generate the PDF file with the answers to the step one application via the platform? If yes, how to do it? So the PDF can only be generated after submission. So you'll see, I can maybe share my screen again, just Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that
you're absolutely correct. It's only once it is submitted that the PDF is available.
Okay, yeah. So you may have the opportunity so you can submit and you can download the PDF. And of course, if you see there's any mistakes, you can always withdraw straight away and then resubmit again. So that PDF option is there for you, but it needs to be a fully complete document before you do that. Okay. Sorry, Mariella, I kind of just wanted to show just the real situation. If you can put back on the slide up. Maybe just on the previous question about the template, just to say that the questions from both templates are actually in the guide for applicants, so not just the short. But the template is, as I was saying earlier, is downloadable in the FAQs for the full proposal. The proposer will receive an email as confirmation of the step 1 submission. As far as I'm aware, no, it's directly visible only in the platform when it's been submitted. You will receive an email once you get the outcome with the result. Will the evaluators of the full proposal have access to the short proposal content on the platform or not? So yes, we normally plan to have the access to kind of continue what we have been doing for the last cutoffs. So they will have visibility of your the documents that you submit for your short proposal. Okay, next question. Stage 1 was easy to go through, even for projects that missed the fundamentals to go to stage 2. Will the new platform be more selective? I mean, based on in terms of the outcomes that we're seeing so far, the percentage success rates is around the same as it was before. So I would hesitate to say that it's more selective, but it should be relatively consistent to what was there before. Is there only a blended finance option? No, so you have all options available to you when you're making the request for funding. So you have blended finance, grant first, and grant only. I know we've gotten questions before just about the funding and tenders portal. When you go into the link there, so the kind of the official publication, it says blended finance when you go to submit, and I can understand it causes a bit of confusion, but this is it's purely kind of the terminology we need to use for the call ID. The blended finance covers all eventualities, so it's kind of like the top end of the funding type. So yeah, please, don't worry. All funding types are available at the short proposal stage. Should footnotes be accounted for in the word count? So yeah, the characters will include the footnotes. That's for sure. But as I say, we have quite a generous word character count. So please don't worry about that side of things. Where do we find the guide? So this is on our website. We can I presume maybe push the links, but if you go onto either the frequently asked questions or just a simple Google search, guide for applicants, EIC Accelerator, you should be able to find it. Is there an open demo session for coaches both on this and step 2 application? Fortunately, I'm not aware. I don't know if anyone else in the team can comment on this. I'm not aware of this. If coaches have their own, I don't think so, Michael. I think it's
the coaches themselves, no, they don't have access to this platform. There's a separate dashboard they have where the coaching takes place.
So yeah, I mean, the applicants can always invite them directly, so they will have access, and coaches can also, of course, create their own proposal, dummy proposals. As long as they don't submit, of course, we must stress. But anyone can create.
However, if I may add, there exists already the possibility of what we showed earlier, that we have multiple contributors to a short proposal. So you have the possibility, if you think it's necessary, to add them actually to the proposal, and they would then see it on the draft. So it is a possibility.
Okay. How could one complain about the professional quality of evaluation? So if we're just talking about the file of complaint, as I was explaining earlier, you can make an argument about it there. As I said, if it's a difference of opinions, then it's unlikely that it will be successful. However, if you're talking about professional quality, I think the only method is, so if you do receive 2 rejections, you also have the opportunity to redress this. But yeah, you can always, of course, write to the support address, and we'll look into the matters. So that's the EIC Accelerator support help desk. So you should also have that link on the actual platform itself, and we can look into cases. But in terms of an official capacity, it's limited to the file a complaint and to a redress if it comes to that. Will the file a complaint button channel be available for step 2? So at step 2, it's limited. So you can always, if it's a resubmission, you can provide a rebuttal to a previous expert. If it's a redress, that option is now available. So because of the switch to SEP, applicants, if they receive a rejection, will straight away receive their letter of rejection the rejection letter, and they will have access to the redress and, if necessary, the Article 22 option. But there's no file a complaint, not like exactly the one we have here. It's only for step 1, and that's as per the work program. Is the size of the video now 1 gigabyte? Before it was 250 megabytes, and I can't find this information anywhere in the guide for applicants. Maybe Michael, yeah, I was hesitating as I was saying it earlier, but I think 1 gigabyte is the limit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, it's 1 gigabyte. It's at the level of the conversion need where we are limited. But maybe I can take this occasion as well to add that we accept also more than only MP4 formats. Huh?
Apologies.
Well, but it's true that most of the videos received so far in MP4 it's the dominant format, but there's an extended list actually we have, and we could probably try to add it there. Okay,
we can take that as an action then, for just to update the guide for applicants and just to make it clear. So yeah, the multiple format plus the 1 gigabyte limit. So thanks for that. Would it be possible to clarify further what breakthrough innovation means so that applicants can have it clear before applying and reaching stage 2? I don't know if, I mean, I can give an answer, but maybe if Stefan or one of the team wants to provide an answer on this at a higher level. Do you want to step in?
Yes, what's the question again?
Sorry, the question is, so would it be possible to clarify further what breakthrough innovation means so that applicants can have it clear before applying and reaching step 2?
Well, the never-ending question of the definition of breakthrough innovation. Well, I mean, there are good definitions that you can find in the public domain, and we have not really decided to put out another definition than the one that we have used in the preparation of the EIC, so I would send you back to those. But yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay.
Neil, if I can maybe compliment, we are trying to ask the applicants here is that for themselves to determine what's the degree of novelty on their solutions. So this question goes together with how they position it on the market, which other solutions they are proposed, and how they stand out of what's already available. So
yeah, but that's why we have an evaluation, because it's a question of degree of the novelty, and that is difficult to put a threshold. Also because we have different sectors, so the degree of novelty is not judged exactly the same depending on the sectors in which you operate. So this is why we have evaluators, and these experts do this, taking things in the context of the particular technology we're talking about. So it's difficult to prescribe this in a text with such level of details that we give such guidance to applicants in such a precise term. So I mean, at the end of the day, if an applicant thinks what he's proposing is breakthrough, then it will be evaluated to determine whether, in the opinion of these external experts, the objective opinion, it is also considered to be or could be possibly be considered a breakthrough innovation. But it's difficult for us to make that prescription here without knowing what we're talking about, basically.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so where should I go to activate the 3 days coaching after receiving a go? So within the module, so within the step 1 module, once you get the go, you go back into your home dashboard. Actually don't have the example, just the example disappeared. I don't know, Michael, if you're just able to just check on your side just to get an example, just of how it looks. So once you get the go, you go back to the home page, and then you'll see your proposal, but then you'll also see a section on coaching, which is on the bottom of the page. Hopefully, if Michael can bring up one there, it would be great. Just to.
I need to open a case.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, we can move on anyway. Can one resubmit rejected step 1 application after modifying it based on feedback? Absolutely. That's generally the idea for the resubmission. You look at the evaluator's comments, either agree or disagree, and then provide any updates as you see fit. So, yeah. What happens if a startup receives a go after the second full step proposal, but meanwhile have lost their main investor? This is a little bit outside the scope of this session. I don't know. We can maybe hold that for someone else if there's one of the colleagues wants to jump in on this.
Well, if the company reached the interview stage and they have undergone a major change on the company structure or investor, that would be for sure something that they will have to make clear during the interview. For sure.
Okay. Thank you, Christina. Okay. Does this new platform support proposal writer agencies? We don't discriminate against either individual applicants, companies, agencies. I can't add any more on that. We submitted a proposal using the new platform, but have not received any verification email, but we see it as submitted on the platform. Is this normal? Yes. So I think we had this similar question earlier. So when you submit in terms of visibility, it's only on the platform. There's no email notification. By clicking the data sharing box, do companies allow sharing their data with both national and local contact points if they are EEN members? Companies are. I believe so. Yes. So we can, if you go into the actual wording, it covers NCPs, EEN, KICs. So different stakeholders that may be able to help you along your journey. So that's the idea. Of course, as we say, it's not mandatory. Can we get the financial templates shown on page 27 to 28 of the GFA? I'm not sure. Do applicants need to provide separate financial projections with and without the grant? So the financial templates. So we're talking about the full proposal. I believe, I'm not sure what the GFA is. Maybe it could be grant agreement. But the financial templates are available in our frequently asked questions, and also I believe on the no, it's just in the frequently asked questions you can see the financial templates. Sorry, I just missed that there was a second part to that. Do we need to provide financial projections? Sorry, Maria, I'll try to find that later and I'll come back to it. Okay, can we utilize any presentation software like Microsoft PowerPoint for pitches? Of course, yeah, but it needs to be in PDF once it's submitted. What is the current success rate for step 1? Broadly speaking, it's about 65%, but it varies from month to month. It can, across the whole year, that's about it. And obviously, it can, yeah, it depends. We're still kind of at a small sample size over the last while, but yeah, generally. After a second no-go at step 1, is it over? You cannot submit to step 1 anymore. So you have 12 months after you get your second no-go, and this is from the moment you submit your second, your resubmitted short proposal. So you have 12 months from then to come back. Do you envisage to include also the full application in the new platform in 2024? So as it currently stands, the full application will remain where it is in the funding and tenders portal for the classic SEP system. In the portal, i.e. Accelerator challenges, so are you applying for step 1 or 2? Yes, this is a great question. And there's I can understand there's a bit of confusion because officially we have to publish the call on the funding and tenders portal website. So every single topic has to be there, but all topics, no matter which one you choose, bring you back into the short proposal platform. So it's only at the point you receive a go will you receive the specific link to the full proposal. So it's a good question. So not to be worrying about the topic ID in the funding and tenders portal. It's better either you can go directly to the portal itself, or once you click on that, it will bring you to the short proposal platform. But it does not impact your proposal whether or not you choose the topic. It's only at the full proposal when you actually make the final choice of topic. Short proposal doesn't matter. Can you already download step 1 proposal in PDF before submitting or after submitting, but before you receive the evaluation result? So not before submitting, but yes, after you have submitted and before you receive the evaluation result. So that is available to you. And obviously, as we were saying, you can withdraw if you see an issue after you looked at your PDF, but you can't withdraw obviously after you've received your result. There is a problem that blocks the submission after filling step 1. Okay, it's hard to know what's happening, so I would advise just to contact the support address so that the help desk can look into it, this specific issue. And that it goes for any technical issue, just to contact the help desk and to see, because I presume this is a specific issue to this applicant. Is it possible to add the PDF creation? Okay, up to you, Michael. So is it possible to add the PDF creation feature before the submission? That's the question.
We would have to look into it. While we take it on board, we can have a look and see what's feasible there.
Okay. To what extent is it expected to complete the application? Some fields accommodate a significant number of characters. So we don't expect you to cover all characters. Please do not let that overwhelm you. Like 70,000 characters, it seems like a lot, but it's there just to kind of give, like the scenarios we were talking about earlier, where you might have quite a lot of reference points or footnotes. It allows you to do that. So we do want to emphasize the spirit of the short application is that it should be short. We don't want to have long proposals. So it's not necessary to complete. It's necessary to complete all questions, of course, but not to reach the character limit for each question. Okay. Is TRL 8 included or not in the grant-only grant first? I'm not sure. Maybe this question needs to be rephrased. I'm not quite sure, but
I can take this one, Miri. So
yeah.
the grant reimburses cost to up to TRL 8. So everything that goes beyond TRL 8 is not eligible under the grant.
Sorry, Chris, I didn't hear you so well. Just that the audio wasn't great. Are you able to repeat? Sorry.
Yes. So the grant can reimburse costs up to TRL 8, and everything that goes beyond TRL 8 is not eligible under the grant.
Okay. Super. Okay. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. It's coming back. So okay, this is kind of a variation of the previous question. We would like to kind of move away from talking about pages, because pages can in different formats can mean different things. As we were talking about earlier, one company could have 2 team members, another could have 50. And if you put that into a document, it'll change the document completely. So we are looking more at characters, at 70,000 characters. So that's what we were talking about. I think, in reality, we're looking generally at, 35 to 40,000. In reality, that's probably what's going to be a short proposal. And that more or less ties in with what we've received in the past. So if you check the character lengths, that's more or less what it is. So we've just given the opportunity, obviously, as you were saying earlier, just for applicants to tell their story. And it's something we will review, obviously, for 2024. If we do need to reduce that down to the realistic level of what actually applicants are submitting. So yeah, the 20,000 characters, it may only be actually used by a handful of companies in reality, whereas the majority will use maybe 10,000. So again, please don't feel obliged to use every single character. Okay. What information should absolutely be the same in steps 1 and 2? Well, there's no obligation to replicate it. And in fact, you can maybe pivot on certain ideas between the step 1 and step 2. So, there is a degree of flexibility for an applicant. Obviously, it should be the same company. But in terms of your approach, there's no need to be word for word exactly what you have there, but a certain consistency, or if there's not consistency, please make sure you explain it well to the experts. I'm a bit confused with the relevance of this for coaches. What do you expect a coach to do? We should support applicants with the strategy, not admin. So I don't think I don't think we're not exactly prescribing it like that. It's just that coaches are aware of this is how it looks, and yes, we would say that coaches are not writing the actual application.
If I may just clarify, because the question is from my side, and I felt, I'm going to use 1 hour and a half from my time to join this call. I thought it will be tailored to coaches. And I do get quite a lot of requests. I do accept some companies to coach, but they are confused as well. So they do expect from coaches to clarify the admin side, how they submit, where they go. And I don't think that's right. So I think the coaches should really work on positioning, on other strategic issues. So I did feel that even in your talk during this hour and something, you were referring to applicants, not really coaches. So I do feel that I had questions about coaching, and they will not be addressed. So I was just wondering what the purpose of understanding this, how the platform works, where do you submit things, is for us coaches, because I guess we are only coaches and NCPs on this call.
Maybe Neil, maybe I can just give a quick response to this. The idea of this session is an information session because we have a new IT platform, and we wanted to make sure that everybody who is in one way or another is involved has the opportunity to listen. This is by no means any obligation. It doesn't describe what your responsibilities as a coach are. We wanted to be inclusive and invite you in case of interest, and that's it. So the objective of this information session is really to give as much as possible detailed information on a new IT application platform, and is open for those people who have an interest in that. For further discussions on the role of EIC coaches, I don't think this is the right platform to do that, but so just to clarify on what the objective of this session is.
Okay, thanks very much.
Maria Laura, maybe, yeah, go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Which TRL level is more suitable for this project? From what to what? Okay, I mean, that's a bit generic. It's not clear which project. So, I mean, normally a grant first is less mature, lower TRL, so TRL 5, 6. Blended finance, it could be anywhere from 5 to 8. Or even closer to the market. Grant only would expect to be more mature, but that's without knowing the context for this question, it's difficult to answer. Okay. Follow up to my question: can you add a disclaimer in the portal? It is very confusing for applicants. If this is maybe I understand why this is related to the funding and tenders portal. Yes, we can look into that. Yeah, just to flag that this is only for the short report. Yeah. Besides the challenges that are already published, is there a quick guide to the key components of a successful application? I mean, the guide for applicants is, in terms of the formal documents, the guide for applicants is kind of where we're at, but I don't know from what perspective you're coming from. If this is maybe if you're a coach, I'm not sure if this is maybe where it's coming from, but there's no, I wouldn't say there's no exact quick guide to the successful application. If one of the colleagues wants to step in, feel free. Is there a consultant role in the application form, or only roles for staff within the company? So it's up to anybody. So the admin can invite anybody they wish. So it's not limited to somebody with the same email kind of address. It can be also consultants can have access once the admin invites. Can you apply for grants larger than 2.5 billion? Yes, it can be done, but it needs to be well justified. So the classic is that it's less than what we say is less than 2.5 million. So 2,400,999, all that. But if you do want to go over that, it needs to be well justified. So normally we would expect that it would be less. Okay. Is the proposer receiving an email when the evaluation is ready? Yes. So if the evaluation has been complete, you will receive your result, and that will be via email, and then you can also check in parallel on the platform. Do experts evaluate the projects in this platform or using the PDF version generated out of it? So good question. So the experts work in kind of a separate system, and they use the PDF generated version. So they don't, unlike the last time they had, they saw it within the platform itself. This time it's only the PDF. That's a good question. Is the advisory board part of the team section, or just CEO, CTO, etc. roles? Good question. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I can just look here. Let's look at the drop-down menu, but I think it's limited to what is.
I can take this, Neil. For the short proposal, only team members from the company are considered. Then in the full proposal, the question on team it's more enlarged to the management, so their advisory board composition is also requested. But for the short proposal, just key members of the team and founders is enough.
Okay, thank you, Christina. I'm a little confused on the terminology of step 1, step 2 versus short proposal, full proposal, and respective cutoff dates. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's probably better for us. Yeah, step 1 correlates with short proposal. Step 2 correlates with full proposal. If we're talking about cutoff dates, it's specifically for the full proposal. So if we're talking about the 19th of October, that's only for full proposals. Step 1s can submit at any stage. Hopefully that clears it up. When in between TRL 5 and 6, which one to be picked? This is at the applicant's discretion, or we can't, you know, it's up to them to make the call on this. We can't say one or the other, unfortunately. There is obviously online. There's several obviously definitions of the TRLs, but you can use which one is most relevant to the application. But up to the applicant to argue the point.
Generally, say that we talk about TRL accomplished. So if you have accomplished TRL 5 but not yet TRL 6, then you would be TRL 5. We are talking here about accomplished TRLs.
Okay. What kind of company functions are supportable by the EIC Accelerator, and what kind of functions not? What kind of company function? I'm not quite sure what the context of company functions is in this. If it's possible to rephrase, I think we still have a little bit of time. If you're able to rephrase that, just to, I'm not sure if that means more in terms of the cost or what the actual.
Hi, this is Olli Österbach. I asked that question, so I'm referring to like marketing, production, contacting, and so forth. These types of functions.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like kind of scale, like kind of market scale up activities. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Well, I guess it's unsure what kind of functions are supportable by the accelerator and what kind of not. Like, is production supportable? Is marketing supportable? So on, going to fairs, whatever companies do.
Yeah, I mean, the list of eligible costs, I mean, we have the model grant agreement, and you can see the list of eligible costs which are there. In terms of the investment component, yeah, I think what you're talking about, it sounds kind of like market and scale up activities. So the investment component would generally cover that. But maybe if you want to send us an email, just kind of maybe to clarify, we can kind of look into a bit more, just with a few more examples, just to be sure we answer.
Yeah. I think this is perhaps indeed a bit more of a general question whether the EIC Accelerator is the right program for you. So I think you should perhaps have a look at the website, and if you have further questions, send us a message. Here for the questions, also for follow-up questions, we're really trying to focus on the how the IT, the new IT tool for the Accelerator Step 1 works. So it's probably best to really focus on those more, say, technical questions on getting to know the tool and how to use this. Thank you.
We're okay for time, actually, Robert. Are we still?
Yes, we're still
working. Okay, super. Can one organization only work on one proposal at a time? Can one organization prepare and submit 2 or 3 full proposals? No. So you're limited to one proposal at a time per company organization. So I mean, if you're a consultant, you could be working for multiple organizations, so in theory different proposals, but one company alone can only have one submission, and that goes towards concurrent submission, which is in the work program. So they are allowed, maybe just to say that, you know, we also talk about Accelerator, but I mean, they are able to apply for other programs. They can apply for Transition or Pathfinder if that's happening as well. Okay, can the video be embedded into the pitch deck Or do they need to be two separate documents? So as you're saying, the pitch deck should be a PDF. I don't know if that would translate well, Michael, just on the technical side. I don't think it would actually come through if they did try to embed it. I suppose if you put in a link, it could also do so, but yeah, please stick to two separate documents, keep it nice and clear, and just make sure, because as we were saying, pitch deck is only 10 slides. Just make sure you use every single one to the best, the most efficient way, I should say. Okay.
If I may add as well, because anyway, since the submission will not be possible unless there's a valid video which is uploaded, so the need will be anyway to upload the video. So I wouldn't go through the effort to try to embed it in the PDF and just upload it separately.
Okay. About introducing multiple keywords for the project or the team members in the platform, is there some alternative rather than introducing one by one? There's no drop-down menu. That's true. It is a free keyword, unless Michael, you want to say something different. I think that's what it's going to be like for the foreseeable future. So
no, we did.
And I think one of the complaints about the last not the complaints, but like just to say in the old platform, that I think it was limited in terms of the team members and their kind of their roles or their expertise. So it's up to the applicant to input them singularly.
Yes, indeed.
Are references mandatory? No, references are not mandatory, but they can be useful depending on the argument that you're presenting in the proposal. If I submit under a challenge, but then the evaluators consider it not suitable, will my proposal be dismissed or evaluated under the open call? So just to reiterate, that at the short proposal, there is no challenge. This is a question that's only for full proposal. If the evaluator feels that the proposal does not match the challenge, then it is within the rights to mark it as a no-go, and therefore, it can be rejected. It cannot be moved from one topic to the other, even if it may be suitable to either even another challenge or to the open topic. So we do, we say to experts, have a bit of flexibility, we would say, but the applicant should be staying within the essence of the challenge. But yeah, that's normally what would happen. Can we download the pitch deck form without setup? Let's say. So there is no pitch deck form. There is absolutely at your discretion how you want to submit the pitch deck. It's not a set format. Okay. How does a company set up or submit to a challenge in the EIC Accelerator? So firstly, you need to pass the step one, the short proposal. And then you will receive a list of the topics. So you have the open plus the 7 challenges. And then within those 7 challenges, you can pick the one which is most relevant to you. And then you click on the link and that brings you to the full proposal submission system for that particular challenge. Key thing is to pass step 1 first. After rejection of submission due to experts' evaluation, in case of claims and new submission, will the 3 evaluation experts be the same or will they change? So again, at step 1, there's 4 experts. So we're talking today about step 1, and it's 4 experts. So if it is a case that you are rejected first time, then we'll have 4 new experts. And then also, at the full proposal, if that did happen, 3 evaluation experts will be new. But they will have access to the previous comments. That's kind of a key thing just for consistency. Michael, if you just want to start, because I know this is a question we were just asked about the coaching. If you want to just share your screen just on the coaching module, I see that you have it ready. If you want to, it's important just people know where to look.
You're on mute, it would be better. So yes, here we are on the organization landing page, which you saw earlier, with the page about the results of the proposal, which Neil showed earlier in his demonstration. And on the organization landing page, you see if you're successful as an applicant, you will not only have the link to the proposal, which is flagged as evaluated, but at the bottom, you see as well the link to the coaching. And this will bring you to a coaching dashboard where you see you have the days and where you can actually start the coaching selection process. But I don't think we have the time now to show this entirely, because it's quite a workflow as well. But yeah, the idea is actually quite, let's say, to summarize it, you have actually a number of steps there that you can first actually contact a coach, which you select based on your keyword or what you're trying to achieve, really, in terms of like setting up your business plan, really to getting the most out for the full proposal. Then the coach will be notified, and they will basically get in touch with you if they're willing to work actually on this project. And then there's a part of the contractualization, and following with the coaching service itself.
Okay. I think, yeah, just important for everyone to know just where it's located. So
but indeed, I mean, you cannot miss it when you land on the organization page. You will see it's really like under the section My Coaching, and you have it there. And especially if you have several ones, or even later in the process, if you get, for instance, selected a beneficiary, this coaching dashboard is really where you will find all your coaching activities actually adding up here, even when they're completed, etc. So that's, yeah, and this hasn't actually changed because that's the same platform which is up and running since 2021. So this hasn't changed.
okay.
Voila.
Okay. Are we okay for time still, Robert?
Yes, we still have some time.
Okay. In case of grant first, is it enough to secure investors for covering the activity before the milestone defined in the submission? If Christina is still there, if you're...
I don't quite understand the question here.
Yeah, I think in theory, I mean, there's no prerequisite to have investors or to have on board. Yeah, in the case of a grant first, it's you know, we would expect obviously applicants, you know, to keep looking for investors during the period, while the EIC is also helping out in parallel. But it's you know, in terms of is it enough? I think maybe just it's more on a case-by-case basis. So again, if you want to just send us an email, we can maybe look more into the scenario that you have presented. Okay. Can I pause my coach status and reactivate it as evaluator? So yeah, this is not really related to the IT, but yes, in theory, if you, as long as you are not, you cannot be a coach and an evaluator at the same time. That's ultimately the current scenario. But maybe just a caveat as well. I mean, also if you're a coach, you shouldn't. We will need to look into it and see which proposals you worked on as well. So it's maybe worth to check it just in advance to make sure there's no conflict of interest. Okay. Does that mean that I can change my pitch deck from the short proposal to the long proposal? Yeah, exactly. And it definitely, if you think about it, you have 12 months from the moment you get your result for the go to submit a full proposal. So we would expect, you know, unless you want to do things in you know, as quickly as possible, things can change in between the short and full proposals. So of course you can definitely change the pitch deck, and it can be more than 10 slides. But as we said earlier, it should be taken into account that you can only present the full proposal deck in the interview. So you don't want to have a 50-slide deck that you can't present essentially to the best of its ability in an interview if you got there. Okay. If you apply for more than 2.5 million, can the reviewers not agree with the justifications and still be successful for a lesser amount? So at the remote phase, so please bear in mind for the short proposal, the applicants, we advise evaluators not to focus hugely on the amount being requested, because of course it can change between the short and the full. So we ask them not to get too caught up in that aspect of things. But at the full proposal, what you submit is what you can. It has to be evaluated on what you have submitted. If you pass to the jury stage, though, it's possible for the jury members to recommend a lower amount if they don't believe that the extra amounts match up. So that is possible at the interview. The jury can step in and say, okay, they're asking for 3 million, but actually 2.5 million is sufficient. So that's the way it would happen. Okay. If a startup not created yet receives a go for phase 1, can they apply to phase 2 and create a company later? Yes, absolutely. So as long as you're in the EU, if you're EU-based entity or a natural person, or from an associated country of Horizon Europe, you don't need to have a company incorporated. You don't need to have a VAT number, that type of thing. You can create officially the company later. But the key point, as you'll see when you try to set up your application, is that we do need a PIC number. And you need to create a PIC number via the funding and tenders, the participant register. And that will be your unique ID for the duration of your submission. So it's like we say, it's not necessary that you need to be a real company if you're from the EU or an associated country, but you need to be a fully established company by the time you sign the grant agreements or the investment agreements. So that's why we say, you can be a natural person and still apply for the EIC fund. If you're from outside the EU or an associated country, you need to have a company established in the EU or an associated country by the time you submit your full proposal. It's just an important distinction if you're in that category. I don't know, Christina, if you wanted to jump in on that, I just see her. Or maybe I misheard, sorry.
In any case, I think we are closing this session now. I think we've covered really the most pertinent questions, and many thanks to Neil for your expert explanations on all these topics. Very clear, and I hope for all the attendants that it's given them a lot of further information with regard to the new IT tool and the applications for the short EIC Accelerator, the step 1 applications. Just to before closing this session, just to remind everybody again that this session has been recorded. We will share it with all the NCPs, EEN, and also the coaches who have been directly invited, and also make it publicly available on our website. So all the questions that you have posed, they will remain here. You can see this info session, and we will also be updating the FAQs on the website on the basis of the questions that we have heard here and that have been explained. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for their participation, for their questions, and of course all the speakers and the colleagues for their time and their explanations on the various questions. So with that, I wish you all a very good day, and all the best for those who are going to be involved in applications for the EIC Accelerator. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank
you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.